If your dog is constantly barking, I get how frustrating that can be, but the good news is it's something you can correct quickly. I'll explain exactly how to do it in this video. One of the main reasons dogs bark, which I find in about 95% of cases, is that the owners unintentionally train their dogs to bark, even though they don't want them to. It might sound odd, but even though it was accidental, they still taught their dog to bark. Many dog owners hear their dog barking and ask what's going on, or they might tell the dog everything's fine, or even say, "Don't bark." While that seems logical if the dog could understand our words, dogs don't interpret things like we do. From the dog's point of view, those responses are actually rewarding the barking with attention or even physical affection, which encourages them to bark more. If the dog receives the same reaction each time, the barking just increases, creating a cycle of unintentional reinforcement. Now that you know the common mistakes you may have been making, you can avoid them in the future. The next important step is figuring out how to communicate to your dog that barking is not acceptable in a way they can both understand and respond to. This is where the real transformation happens. I use what I call an empowered verbal correction. You need to be able to tell your dog to be quiet effectively, and I suggest using a simple command like shush or quiet. This lets the dog know they're being too loud and need to stop. But if they don't understand what those words mean, it's not fair to expect them to follow the command. You have to show them what the command means through calm and empowered correction. Now that you know the errors to avoid and the steps to fix barking, the third key thing to grasp is setting realistic expectations for your dog. This is often tied to the breed of dog you have. For example, Labradors fall somewhere in the middle. They may bark a bit more if you reinforce it and fail to communicate when they should stop. If you own a German Shepherd, they are naturally more prone to barking, so managing that behavior may be more challenging. On the other hand, if you have a Greyhound, they tend to be quieter, so barking might not be as much of an issue. When choosing the right breed for you, consider whether barking is a problem you're willing to deal with.